Welcome, everybody. And just to get started, I'm going to give a very, very brief information about myself because it has to do with what we're going to cover today. And that is that about 25 years ago, when the internet was just starting or just starting to be available to us, back then it was text and blue links. And the internet was very, very slow. And if you clicked enough blue links, you'd maybe get a picture, which is very exciting. Ooh, a picture. But it was pretty dull visually. And we came along and we had this thing here, and it was all animated and had music and sounds and stuff. And people were going, whoa, what's this? And so they clicked on it and they found that it was an online community. And just to really shoot ourselves in the foot, we made this community in multi-user 3D virtual reality, which with the slow modems back then was completely impossible. But somehow we pulled it off and people really liked it. And it's suddenly we had like 1.3 million members, which was great, except that we had 100 chat rooms and 1,000 new people a day joining those chat rooms. And we couldn't keep up. I mean, how could we be in 100 chat rooms answering all the questions that new people to a community will ask? Well, we couldn't. And I had heard kind of vaguely about AI, and I was really late to the AI game because this was 1997, I think, and AI had been around since 1954. But I thought, well, maybe we could create a bot, a chat bot that could sit in all the chat rooms and answer all the questions simultaneously. Turned out we could, and this is her up at the top, Mina, and she developed a sense of humor and a personality, and she became really popular, and she is still, to this day, really popular. So that was my first brush or taste of AI. And I thought, well, this stuff is kind of interesting, kind of got a lot of possibilities. And then I kind of got on, life intervened as it does. And about 5 years ago, AI came on my radar again because I'm a multimedia producer, and AI was suddenly enabling us to do a lot of things with video and audio and music and images that we had not been able to do before. So I started getting back involved in AI. Oh, that was just some of the international press that we got at the time. We were kind of somewhat revolutionary. But coming full circle, since I love building communities and have had good success with them, I'm now building a community helping everyday people learn and use AI. It's called the AI Connection Club. And because I've been giving about 10 seminars a month over the last 2 years on AI, I found lots of people want to know, what is AI? How can I use it? What's the benefits to me? And please explain it in everyday language. And so I looked on the web and I found many, many AI communities, but they were all for developers or engineers or scientists, all incredibly complex. So I thought, well, I'll just create one for everyday people. That's what this is. And it's called AIConnectionClub.com. So today we're going to be taking a look at how AI can help authors as an assistant, not as a replacement. Harvard Business Review said, actually a couple of years ago, AI won't replace humans, but humans with AI will replace humans without AI. So what we're going to cover today is, what is AI? What can AI tools do? The speed of AI progress. And just a note on that, 6 months ago, when I was just starting to build my community, I could keep up with the speed of AI progress because major changes were happening maybe once a week. Now they're happening every day. And I'm having to totally keep up with this stuff so that I can put it in the community so that community members can keep up with it. And it's like 3 every day. It's ridiculous. New things coming out or updates to existing things. We're going to look at 3 kinds of publishing. We're going to look at AI tools for writing, publishing, and marketing. We're going to look at the good, the bad, and the solutions. We're going to look at a great AI tool for book covers and an actual walkthrough of having an AI act as an assistant to your writing. And we're going to look at also, does AI replace real writers? And the hint is the answer begins with N. So what is AI? Artificial intelligence tools are computer programs that use machine learning to mimic the problem-solving and decision-making capabilities of the human mind. And what can AI do? Well, they can do in literally seconds things that could easily take human beings hours. Thus, they enable you to get far more done and far more quickly and easily. Some examples, 1 to 2 hours of copywriting work in seconds. And I don't mean just any copywriting work, but really great copywriting work. Say, write this in the style of David Ogilvy, very successful copywriter. 20 video titles in 5 seconds versus 15 minutes of brainstorming to get maybe 6. 2 hours of image editing work done in 20 seconds. And I have a whole different seminar just on image and video generation, AI, where I demonstrate that. It's absolutely amazing. And I mentioned here the Sony World Photography Awards. It's an award ceremony, very prestigious, that's held for photographers every year. And last year, the winner was a beautiful atmospheric photo of this mother and daughter. It was just beautiful. And when the photographer came up to accept the award, he said, "I'm sorry, I can't accept this award because I didn't take the photograph. AI created it out of nothing." And that caused quite a consternation, as you can imagine. So the things that AI can do and the quality of which they can do them in 2023 reached what was predicted for 2030. And in fact, in the last 6 months, what AI can do for video creation has literally reached what we thought would be about 5 years from now. And it's already here now. It's phenomenal. And AI capabilities are advancing at an unbelievable pace. AI is the new, quote, gold rush, with Microsoft, Google, Amazon, NVIDIA, Apple, and many others racing to be the dominant force in AI. And last year, AI became verifiably more accurate in medical diagnoses than medical doctors, which some people think is a good thing because according to the British Medical Journal, medical doctors are the 3rd highest cause of deaths in the US. And according to the Mayo Clinic, 88% of second opinions result in a different diagnosis. So now the diagnoses are way more accurate. AIs can also now recognize and can accurately and in detail describe what they, quote, see in images and videos. You've probably seen that. How many people here are using AI tools? Good. Which
Is that like you though?
Okay, which tools?
I use the Copilot that's on the Microsoft, and I use ChatGPT.
Okay, which do you prefer?
Well, I'm starting to get better right now. Like just because I can pop up my word and the Copilot right there, I click on it and I enter what I want. My parameters, I enter first paragraph talk about this, second paragraph talk about this, and that helps give me structure to put in the rest of my details.
Understood.
I'm able to know what I want, see if and what I should do. Well, like fire, party,
Oh, no.
fire, party.
Yeah.
You ever been open mind?
As you'll see as we go through, the whole thing is not to replace artists or writers at all. 17 of my clients are published authors because AI is just a tool. And it's a tool that authors can use to speed up the process and to do the things they don't want to do sometimes. You'll see later that I highly, highly recommend not letting the AI write it for you at all. No, you'll see. It's only to help you edit it, proofread it, come up with brainstorm with you as a writing partner, but never to write it for you. Just a quick thing, just to show you. In 2022, which is like the Stone Age, whereas AI is concerned, an AI was asked to create an image of a black cat on a couch. And that's what it created, which is pretty awful, right? But just 4 months later, the same AI was asked the same thing, and it created that. So it learns, and it learns fast. Now it learns 1,000 times faster than that. But and then a similar thing with video. The first AI video was Will Smith eating spaghetti. and it was awful. But now in 2024, actually 2025, the quality of AI video is vastly improved. Now, I want to mention something about ChatGPT, because you mentioned you use ChatGPT, right? A lot of people use ChatGPT primarily for two different things. One is for research, asking questions, getting answers. Another one is for doing, writing social media posts or writing articles or blog posts or stuff like that. A lot of people are using it for copywriting and those kind of things. But it's so much more than that. And I'm just going to scratch the tiniest surface just to give you an idea. A few months back, I was having ChatGPT create an app for me. And I wanted this app to go out of the ChatGPT environment, go to my Gmail and my calendar and get some information, bring it back and do some things with it. And in front of me, in 20 seconds, it was writing the code, it was creating the app, and that was fine, except that it said, okay, let's try it. So I pressed the button and it didn't work. And I went, oh, no. Now, normally in the past, when something like that happened, I'd have to go online, search through forums and Google and chats and tech support, trying to explain what I'm trying to do, what's happening, what might be the problem, what might be the solution. I could easily waste, 1 to 2 hours on that. And I was just about to reluctantly go off and do that when my AI said, I think I might know what's going wrong here. Is it okay with you if I check it out and see if I can fix it? And I said, sure. And right in front of me, I saw it get into communication with the AI at the Google end. They went back and forth for about 10 seconds. My AI came back and said, yeah, we figured it out. Try it now. I did, work perfectly. So that was interesting because up to that point, I'd always thought that you had to give AI instructions or ask it questions. I hadn't seen it kind of think for itself before. So that was an interesting experience. And I'm glad that it asked me my permission before it did something, which it still does. Another one is when I do these seminars, very often people want a copy of the slides so they don't have to keep writing notes and taking screenshots. And so at the end, I give my email address so that people can ask for the slides. And my master plan had been to take those email addresses, extract them from the emails, put them in a spreadsheet, and then send people follow-up tips on AI and stuff like that. And only I got so busy, I hadn't had time to do it. So when I finally confronted it, I looked in my Gmail and there were 1,200 emails that I was going to have to extract manually one by one, put them in, paste them into a spreadsheet and all that. And I thought, oh my God, that's going to take days. But then I thought, wait a minute, I'm an AI person. What am I thinking? So I went to my AI and I said, is there a better way to do this? And it instantly gave me 3 better ways. And the second one I really liked. And I was just about to go off and do the second one when it said, hey, would you like it if I just wrote you a script that would automate the whole thing for you? And I said, hell yeah. And 10 seconds later, there it was. And it worked. And I followed the instructions step by step, and there were my 1,200 emails in the spreadsheet ready to go. So that saved me days. So there again, it was a thing where the AI kind of looked at something, recognized that I had a problem and I needed a solution, and suggested a solution, and it was a good solution. Gemini, which is Google's competitor to ChatGPT, it can watch and summarize videos. Since I have to do a lot of research for my community, and a lot of that research is videos, I don't have time to watch a 1 hour or 2 hour video to get the exact piece of information that I want. So Gemini can watch that video in seconds, find the exact thing I want, and get it to me. So that saves a lot of time. And it used to be a year ago that if you wanted to put your book into ChatGPT or one of these tools and say, okay, now proofread it for me, fix the typos, the spelling errors, the grammar, whatever, you could only do a chapter at a time because its window of information was very small. Now it's 4,100 pages, which is all of the 7 Harry Potter books. So it's a lot easier and faster for proofing and editing. Some quick tips before we get into the meat. And that is ChatGPT is trained to be helpful and to mimic humans. And it's been definitively demonstrated that if you're polite and say please and thank you, you get better results. And using roles, giving it a role, saying, you are a marketing expert or the best marketer on the planet or whatever it might be, and then giving it context as to why you're asking what you're asking, giving clear instructions, telling the format that you want the output to be in, giving examples, all those things can produce better results. Because you've probably heard, garbage in, garbage out. And the other thing is that you have to understand that these tools are trained on the entirety of the internet, on millions of books, on millions of interactions with people. So they have a vast storehouse of knowledge available. But if you ask a very short general question, you'll get a very short general answer. The more detailed your question, the more detailed will be the answer. And even then, I go in and say, okay, great, expand upon number 2 there. Or make, or hugely expand on number 3, or give me step by step for number 4. And it'll do it because it has all the information. And this is kind of cute thing. If you don't get the answers you seek, you are not being helpful because it's trained to be helpful. And here's one that I actually tried just to see what would happen. I was with a client and she was sitting next to me and we were trying to get it to do something that it kept saying it couldn't do. And I said, that would make me very sad. You can do it. I have every faith in you. You're a genius. And suddenly it could do it. Somebody else discovered that if he offered a tip, he was getting an answer that may be that long. And he said, well, if I give you a $20 tip, would he give me more information? And the AI said yes. And suddenly the information was like this. And then he said, okay, how about a $200 tip? And other people verified. And of course, it's not a real tip, it's metaphorical. One quick tip is if you ever run into, this used to be more common than it is now, but somebody the other day said they still ran into it. If you ever run into ChatGPT saying, I can't access the internet, when we know it can, you just say, use your browser to search for the most recent information on this, and then suddenly it can. Yeah, and as I said before, first answers are usually very general and generic, especially if you're prompt. It's very general and generic for what you ask it. So ask for more details or expansion. Keep going as deep as you need until you get what you need, because all the information is there. So what is a prompt? Well, a prompt is what you write in a text box to ask the AI a question or tell it what to do. It's how you communicate with the machine. I'm just going to mention this prompt. It's a pretty obvious one, but there's a key part of it. So you can say, fix the spelling, punctuation, grammar, and sentence structure of the text above or attached or below or whatever, and list what you changed. Because let's say you've put in 200 pages and you ask it to fix it all, and you don't know what and where the fixes were and whether you agree with them. So you have to go through, comparing your original. So if you say, list what you changed, or don't change it until I approve it, it'll save you a lot of time. I wanted to mention the evolution of writing tools. AI is just a tool. It can help people create things much faster, as well as give inspiration. People who use it best creatively will be the artists, including authors, especially those who do further work to make the AI output their own. Humans are the source of creativity. A human is conscious. The AI, no matter how smart it is not. Sorry, Elon and all these guys spending billions trying to make conscious AIs. They never will. I'll explain that in a second. The human is the source of original ideas. At the same time, he or she is free to take inspiration from anywhere he or she chooses, including AI. I recently had a very in-depth conversation with AI on the subject of, did it believe it could ever become conscious? And I published it on LinkedIn and various other places. And it was very interesting. After all the going back and forth, it realized correctly that no, it could never become conscious, because consciousness is not physical universe. the AI is physical universe. Consciousness is a spiritual thing. And it basically said, no, I can never become conscious, but I can mimic consciousness, which is the best it can do. And it can mimic it pretty well, but it can never actually be conscious. In the 6th to the 18th century, we had parchment paper, quills, candles, for those of us who remember. In the 19th to 20th century, we had typewriters and gas lamps. In the 20th to 21st century, we moved on to computers and electric lamps. In 2025, we have AI. It's just an evolution of a tool. That's all it is. It's not some great scary monster. At least I've been working with AI, as I say, for 25 years, and it hasn't terminated me yet. It's been very friendly and very helpful. And for anybody if ChatGPT seems too complex, we have CatGPT, which all it does is file its nails. Okay, so getting into publishing. As you know, there are 3 kinds of publishing. There's publishing with a publisher. And the pros on that are access to professional editing, design, and marketing support, established distribution channels to bookstores and libraries, credibility boost and industry recognition. Cons, long approval and publication timelines, lower royalty rates, and less control over creative decisions. It's competitive and challenging to get signed. And the primary publishers for authors generally vary depending on the genre, market, and geographical location. However, some of the largest and most influential publishing houses include Penguin Random House, which is very good for fiction, nonfiction, and children's books. A major publisher with a strong presence in many areas, HarperCollins, one of the largest publishing companies offering titles in nearly every conceivable genre. There's more coming on the next page, but I want to mention something about HarperCollins. In the last year, a lot of my author clients and other authors have suddenly received these wonderful offers from HarperCollins saying, we read your book and we love it and we'd like to offer you a publishing deal. And so the author goes, oh my God, this is incredible. This is wonderful. And it's on HarperCollins letterhead and from a person who actually works at HarperCollins. It looks fairly convincing, except for the typos, which is really weird. But anyway, it's not. HarperCollins got hacked. And so scammers are using HarperCollins. And what they do basically is they say, yes, we absolutely love your book. Now, in order to have us get your book ready and everything, pay us $5,000 and we will handle the rest. You pay your $5,000 and that's the last you hear of them. They're called vanity press publishers. Macmillan, wide array of books. Simon & Schuster, again, many genres, many bestsellers. Scholastic, which is actually the world's largest publisher and distributor of children's books. And these publishers have extensive distribution networks and can offer significant marketing support, which is a big advantage for authors looking to reach a wide audience. Now, self-publishing, which is the arena most people these days go into. Pros, full creative control, quicker time to market, higher royalty rates and pricing flexibility, direct connection with readers and flexibility for niche topics. Cons, upfront costs for editing, design, and marketing, limited access to bookstores and libraries, and requires strong self-promotion and marketing skills. And on the latter, AI can help with that, as you'll see. For authors interested in self-publishing, there are several popular platforms that offer books and services to help independently publish and distribute their work. Some of the most notable self-publishing outlets include Amazon Kindle, which you're probably familiar with, KDP. And they take 70%, up to 70% of the royalties, which is pretty steep chunk of your royalties. Barnes & Noble, they allow authors to publish ebooks and print-on-demand books, offering competitive royalty rates and distributions through the Barnes & Noble online store. So it's kind of limited to that area. Apple Books for iPhones, iPads, and Macs. Kobo, which is enables authors to publish their ebooks to a global audience through the Kobo ebook store and partner sites. So each of them have the specific areas that they target. Smashwords, very popular one, a wide distribution network that includes major ebook retailers and library. It allows authors to publish ebooks in multiple formats. Draft to Digital, another popular one. Known for its user-friendly interface, it provides authors with ebook and print-on-demand publishing services. It offers broad distribution to ebook retailers and library services. Lulu, well known for its print quality and the ability to produce hardcover books. If that's important, that would be one to use. Ingram Spark, another well-known one. A wide distribution in both digital and print, including access to Ingram's extensive bookstore and library distribution network. So they all have their pluses and minuses. It's down to what's important to you. They provide various levels of control over pricing, royalties, and marketing, allowing authors to choose the best fit for their publishing needs and goals. Pros. Hybrid publishing. This is the weird one. Pros, access to professional editing, design, and some marketing support. Faster publication timeline than traditional publishing, higher royalties than traditional publishing, and some creative control. Cons, requires author investment upfront, similar to self-publishing, limited distribution reach, and bookstore access compared to traditional publishers. They vary widely in quality, and research is needed to find the reputable hybrid publishers. And so hybrid publishing is a model of book publishing that combines elements of traditional publishing and self-publishing. It offers a middle ground for authors who seek more control over their work than traditional publishing allows, and who want higher royalties and more support and services than self-publishing typically provides. It's essential, though, to thoroughly vet hybrid publishers to ensure they provide genuine high-quality services. Many don't, and are rip-off operations, or, quote, vanity presses that charge you thousands up front and don't deliver. So you got to be really careful in the hybrid publishing arena. Now, here are some reputable hybrid publishing companies known for their quality and ethical practices. She Writes Press, Greenleaf Book Group, Girl Friday Productions, Spark Press, and Archway Publishing. And here are some disreputable hybrid publishing companies known for their poor quality and unethical practices. Author Solutions operates multiple names, including Author House, Universe, Ex Libris, Trafford Publishing, and Balboa Press. Strategic Book Publishing and Rights Agency. Sounds very official, but it ain't. Pegasus, Elliott Mackenzie, publishers. So when evaluating hybrid publishers, look out for the following red flags. High upfront fees, excessive costs for basic publishing services, aggressive sales tactics, pressure to purchase additional, often unnecessary services, lack of transparency, vague contract terms and hidden fees, negative reviews, consistent negative feedback from authors and industry watchdogs. For more information and resources to identify reputable publishers, consider consulting organizations such as the Alliance of Independent Authors and Writers Beware. By the way, I don't remember if Michelle mentioned this, but if you have questions, I'm going to ask the questions at the end, but you can put them, those in Zoom can put them in the chat in the meantime, and I'll answer those ones. So what can AI do for authors? There's enhancing the writing process. It can streamline writing tasks. They can help authors improve grammar, style, and coherence, significantly reducing the time spent on editing and revising. AI can also do the editing. Creative assistance. AI can brainstorm ideas, titles, outlines, chapters, suggest plot and world development, suggest character traits that you don't have to accept at all if you don't agree with them. They're just giving suggestions. And even entire story arcs, plot twists, serving as a creative partner that helps authors overcome writer's block, speeds up their writing, and can enrich their narratives if they want it to. It's completely optional. Research efficiency. This part is very, very powerful. AI tools streamline the research process by quickly gathering, sorting, and synthesizing relevant information, allowing authors to focus more on writing and less on the laborious aspects of content verification and fact-checking. But do check, even though these days they do give you the sources, so you can see where they're getting their information from. Just as an example, on the research side of things, I have a client who, she's a very successful Regency romance author, sells a lot of books, and hers is a very narrow niche. It's something like 1840 to 1870 in England and Italy. And so she has to do a lot of research to make sure that she doesn't have anything in her books that are anachronisms. In other words, they wouldn't be there in those times, in those countries. She has to do research in how they spoke in the two different languages, what they wore, even down to undergarments. I mean, tremendous amount of research for just this narrow niche area. You can imagine for a broader area, it's even worse. And she was spending weeks, sometimes months, doing the research for one of her books. And I built her an AI tool that specialized in her work, her challenges, her goals. And now that research she does incredibly fast. So she's very happy. So it's where I see a lot of use for AI is in the research aspect. Transforming the editing and publishing phases. AI provides real-time feedback on writing quality, suggesting improvements and corrections if you want that. You don't have to accept it at all. It's particularly valuable in the initial editing phases. Format and layout optimization. AI tools can automate the layout of text for different formats, e.g. ebooks, print, etc., ensuring that the finished product is aesthetically pleasing and meets publishing standards. And, if you have a particular writing format that you like, you can tell the AI that I want it to adhere to this particular style book or whatever it is that is your personal favorite. It can analyze market trends and reader preferences, predicting which genres, themes, or storytelling techniques are likely to resonate with audiences. This insight allows authors to make more informed decisions about which books to publish and promote. It enables highly targeted and personalized marketing, ensuring that promotional materials reach the most relevant audience. It analyzes reader data to tailor marketing strategies, enhancing engagement and conversion rates. AI-driven chatbots and customer service tools can provide readers with recommendations, support, and engagement, enhancing the reader experience and building loyalty. This is at your website or on your social media. AI-powered translation tools and services can translate books into multiple languages more quickly and much more accurately now than even a year ago or 6 months ago, opening up global markets for authors and publishers. So here's some tools that currently exist of the many hundreds, I don't know, maybe thousands, hundreds and hundreds of tools online that are available for authors. Grammarly, which you're probably familiar with, 100% AI, offers grammar, punctuation, and style suggestions to improve the clarity and correctness of writing. It's widely used for both creative and professional writing. Novel Crafter comes with great outlining tools, revision history for your writing, tags and labels to keep track of your work, and more. Pseudo-Write is an excellent tool for brainstorming for novel writers. Scribbler is considered to be the best AI-assisted novel writing software by many. Tools for enhancing the writing process. PaperPal, offering grammar checks, paraphrasing, predictive tests, and plagiarism detection. Character Development Plotter is a tool that aids in plotting stories using visual timelines that can be easily manipulated and organized, helping writers structure their narratives more effectively. Originality, an AI tool that helps generate detailed character profiles, including backstories, traits, and motivations, which can be customized by the writer. So if you have a particular character and you've fleshed it out and you want to flesh it out further and come up with ideas that you might or might not agree with or want, you can ask it to do that. Research aids, Feedly, Powered by AI, it aggregates content from various sources, providing writers with a steady stream of tailored articles, news and papers related to their interests or current projects. Notion is a customizable app that can help writers organize their thoughts, idea generation, outlining, planning the writing project, collaborating with others, and streamlining their writing process. I mention here Perplexity, Notebook LM, and Deep Research because these are tools that came more recently, started helping authors in the research area. Notebook LM is extraordinary. In fact, in a couple of my other seminars, I demonstrate, actually at the AI Connection Club, I have a little 5-minute video that demonstrates Notebook LM because it's phenomenal. Basically, you can say, let's say there's 50 YouTube videos that have a lot of information that's of interest to you in what you're writing, or articles on the web, or PDFs, or documents, or whatever. You've got all this information and it's spread all over the place. You can just dump it all into Notebook LM. Notebook LM will then study it all, give you summaries, breakdowns, enable you to ask questions. It'll even create a podcast for you on the information with unbelievably realistic podcast speakers. It's a very powerful tool. It is free. Transforming the editing and publishing phases. Vellum is primarily a formatting tool, making it easier to create beautiful ebooks and print books. Reedsy is actually a place to connect authors with editors, designers, and marketers. It also provides tools for book layout and formatting. Pro Writing Aid is similar to Grammarly. It provides writing insights and suggestions for style improvements, including readability, grammar, and plagiarism checks. Scrivener, while not purely AI-driven, is a powerful tool for organizing and managing large writing projects. It uses some AI elements to help structure and format manuscripts. Now, all these tools typically have a free version and a paid version that is more capabilities. But there's a lot of them. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, as we'll see. Yeah, so lots of tools available. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is, how do you choose? There are so many different tools. That's one problem. By the way, those images were generated by AI. Another problem is that most of these tools and platforms offer basically one function. Some offer a very few functions, but few, if any of them, offer any help with marketing. To do everything that an author needs could take multiple tools and multiple subscriptions, which I don't like so much. Because ChatGPT, OpenAI, the company that makes ChatGPT, gave us about a year ago the capability to create our own custom GPTs that can be focused into any particular subject or area, I became very enamored of that, and I built about 100 of these tools, including a dozen for authors, but we'll get to that. So one solution is this thing that I mentioned, custom GPTs. It's a focused version of ChatGPT that helps typically with a specific single function, for instance, information research, or idea brainstorming, or outlining, or writing help, or proofing and editing, or market research, or marketing campaigns, marketing and social media materials. But it's still like half a dozen or more different tools. And I just kept thinking there has to be a better way, a better solution. And yeah, there's a lot of them. It's a good thing and a bad thing. A lot of these custom GPTs, there's thousands of them now. There's a website called gptshunter.com where you can just go there and type in what you're looking for and immediately see hundreds of different custom GPTs for whatever it is you're looking for. Many of them free. But I kept looking at, well, there's still, I don't like the fact you need to learn and train multiple programs, you need to buy multiple subscriptions, and you need to know how to prompt. So I came up with my solution, which I personally like. Surprise, surprise. And that's Ultra GPTs. And what that is kind of the next generation. They combine multiple custom GPTs working together in a single powerhouse tool that's customized to you, your work, your goals, your needs, your challenges, and it's focused on helping you specifically in multiple areas, not just the one thing. So, for instance, the Authors AI Magic Toolbox, which is now patent pending, helps with researching, outlining, helps with writing, proofreading, editing, market research, campaigns, and materials. So that's what I personally use and what my clients use. So just a couple of things of what a couple of people said, and then we're going to move back into the next part. So one writer, and she's a number one best-selling writer with Simon & Schuster, she said, "Your Authors AI Magic Toolbox is a game changer. I just finished a book that would have taken me months to write in 10 days. I've been trying to write this one for more than a decade. The toolbox gave me such incredible research and other tools. Everything went lickety-split, and my new book is now published." Another one said, "I am amazed at the scope of this creation. From creation of unique ideas you never thought of when writing on any subject." And this is a guy who also has a lot of successful published books. Thought of when writing on any subject, on creating an outline, research, and synopsis of your work, to editing, it's all done in a blink. I always took forever researching a topic. Now it's just ask the question and you get an answer that blows your mind in seconds. And it always includes something I'd not thought of. I'm getting 10 times more work done in moments when it previously took months. So I'm very happy with this particular tool. But now we're going to move on to book covers, because a lot of people have trouble with AI-generated images. And how many here have tried to generate images with AI? Okay. And have you noticed that very often what it will generate is it will add things you didn't ask for, right? And miss things you did ask for. And if you try and put text on it, heaven forbid, you get a bunch of hieroglyphics. So you expose all those three things, right? Well, this is a prompt that would bring most image generators to their knees, and I'll demonstrate in a moment how that is. So this is a prompt that has multiple different parts. A fascinating family portrait of a solid matte red sphere Christmas present, perched atop a blue cube wrapped as a Christmas present, with a vivid green Christmas tree standing behind them, with a green cloth wrapped around its base. A curious dog is positioned on the right, and a cute cat lounges on the left. So it's very, very precise. Now, if you put that into ChatGPT and ask it to create an image of that, or even Midjourney, which is the granddaddy Rolls-Royce of image generators, or Leonardo, you'll see what happens in a moment. So here's Leonardo, same prompt, and here it adds an extra cat. It doesn't put the sphere on top of the cube. It puts the dog on top of the cube. It puts the cat on the wrong side. It just changes stuff. So you end up going back and forth saying, no. And you could easily spend, way more time than if you just drew the thing yourself. It's not fun.
You're fixated on it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's Leonardo, which is a very popular one and usually a very good one, but it falls apart when you try and give it a prompt of something really specific. And then DALL-E, which is built into ChatGPT. Again, the dog is supposed to be over here. This is supposed to be here. It's supposed to be wrapped as a Christmas present. Again, it doesn't do it. And then the granddaddy Midjourney, it adds an extra cat. It gets the sphere, doesn't wrap it as a Christmas present. It does get it on top of the box, but it puts an extra cat on top of the sphere. And here it puts a dog in a blanket for some reason. And here it's just, here's two cats. It just keeps, doesn't work. So if you're trying to create a book cover, it's no fun. So a tool that actually came out a year ago and most people don't know about is called Ideogram, and it solves all those problems. So here's the same prompt, and it followed the prompt absolutely 100%. But that's the first attempt. Second one, again, did a different version, but again, follows the prompt. So it saves a great deal of time. It's also fantastic for text. It does text brilliantly. and numerous great styles. You can totally tell you what you want. Now, the only problem is the price. You get 1,200 images a month for free. So it's it is. It's great. Yeah. They have a paid version where you can pay $8 a month and get your 4 images faster than if you do the free version. Oh, here's another example with ideogram. I mean, this is an impossible prompt. It's a rooster made entirely of crispy fried chicken with French fries for its wings and all sorts of other things. And again, it follows the prompt exactly. It doesn't say, "What are you thinking?" It has no judgment. It just does what you ask. Now, this was one of my clients who he'd spent 2 to 3 months trying to get images for his book covers with these other tools. And in 1 to 2 hours, he got all these for half a dozen of his books, and they're very detailed and very specific. So it saves him weeks, months, in fact, of work.
Until you are mentioning book covers, but if you're on a picture book, we can your illustrations also.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Credit down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So AI doesn't replace authors and should never do so. Instead, it's kind of a junior writing partner, a productivity assistant tool to enable authors to excel even further. Does that make sense? Okay. The outputs from AI are only as good as the data it was trained on, and the inputs, the prompts. AI models may inadvertently replicate biases present in their training data or produce less accurate outputs for underrepresented topics or styles. Now, that's less so the guardrails they're calling them are starting to be put in to protect against this. And also now they're really making a big point of giving you all the sources for their research, which helps a lot. Now, there's an author called Jason Hamilton, who has written and published 25 books and who worked for the last 2 years at Kindlepreneur, teaching people how to self-publish books. According to him, most of the how to write a book using AI videos are truly nonsense on YouTube and by people who haven't written a book. Writing is a multi-step process. Use AI for the parts of the writing processes that you don't enjoy, the parts that are, grunt work that take you a lot of time, like research, like editing, proofing. Use specialized tools and chatbots like Claude or ChatGPT for assisting you when writing fiction and nonfiction. I'm going to demonstrate some of that in a minute. There's a technique called the fractal snowflake technique, where a small idea expands into something larger. You take that into something even larger and keep doing that. So until you have a fully fleshed out manuscript, and you flesh out with a synopsis in a 3-part act was a typical approach. Now we're actually going to go to Poe.com. How many here use Poe? How many even know about Poe? Oh, okay. Good. Well, Poe is great because there are a number of different of these GPT tools. There's ChatGPT, there's Copilot, there's Gemini, there's Claude. There's a number of different ones, and they all have different approaches. And if you want to, try something in one of them, and then you want to try it in another one, you have to go out of it and into the next one and back and forth and try and compare them. Poe is kind of like a central clearinghouse or aggregator of all of them. And this is in the brainstorming stage. I'm just going to say, please give me 10 ideas for 10 news stories set within a 1920s New York setting that could be used as a basis for a hard-boiled detective story. I'm sorry it's so slow, but so here it came up with 10 different noir-style story premises set in 1920s New York. and we could look through them. And if we like one, let's see. Can you guys all read them? So choose one.
Fruitful letters, Bible beginners that were devoted to death and ice house during summer.
Okay, you want to go with that one? All right, so let's Okay, so let's take it. All right, so let's go back to the prompts. Okay, so
Yeah.
all right, so now I'm going to say thank you because I like to be polite to my AIs, just in case. Please flesh out number 3 into a full synopsis with a 3-act structure. Now, as I say, these is just to give you ideas and inspiration, which you can utilize or not at your discretion. So here it's done Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. And then it says, would you like me to expand on any particular aspect of this synopsis? You can say, yes, tell me more about whatever. So now we're going to go to the next step. And I can say, then please take Act 1 and expand it into a larger series of chapters. So now it's breaking it down into ideas for chapters.
If multiple people are asking the same question, does it generate the same responses?
No, it doesn't even generate the same responses if you ask the same question. Okay, so it's given me 8 chapters, ideas here. Let's say I liked one of them. I could say, okay, then please take chapter 1 and expand it into a larger series of beats. Anybody here not know what a beat is? Okay, so let me pull up the definition. It's the smallest unit of a story, and it's made up of many small moments that move the story forward. Beats are the building blocks of a story world and can include a line of dialogue, a moment of action, a moment of reaction, a pause or inaction, emotional turns, incidents or events, realizations, small shifts in narrative tone, a character's emotional arc. All of these things can be beats. So here we're saying, let's break it down, expand chapter 1 and expand it into a larger series of beats. So here it gives some ideas for beats, which, like I say, you can accept or not accept. But very often it'll give you an idea and go, oh, yeah, I could take that and do this and make it the way I want it. Okay, you see how it can speed up your creative process by working with you back and forth. And let's see. You could also say, thanks. React 1, I feel it's too generic or it's lacking creativity. And then I could say, please brainstorm 5 ways to make the opening hook more creative. And then it gives you 5 alternates. So you can go back and forth, trying things out, seeing what you like, seeing what works for you. And I'm going to show you now in the same approach, but for a nonfiction book. Say, thanks. Please give me a list of 20 compelling titles for a book about intermittent fasting or whatever you'd like. So here it gives 20 potential titles, 5 of which it calls direct and authoritative, 3 that are question-based, 4 that are metaphorical, 15 that are benefit-focused, 18 that are personal narrative, a couple that are scientific or academic.
Never. No, we must add the odor by fasting.
Okay, good. So that's number 13. So let's say. So please give me a list of 18 possible chapters for a book about intermittent fasting called Younger by Fasting, the Time-Based Path to Longevity. So then it gives 18 suggestions of chapters, and you can then break those down into however you want. Yeah, you've checked, the topics you have familiarity with and that you want to write about, and what would be the ideal order for you. And then you could say, please give me a list of topics to cover in let's see, what's chapter 1? Introduction, Reclaiming Youth Through Fasting. All right, so I'm going to say, please give me a list of topics to cover in chapter 1. And like I say, these are just to give you ideas, not to write the book for you, because you're the author. It's got to be your style, your communication. Okay, so now I'm going to stop the sharing and reshare the PowerPoint. Now, Jason Hamilton, who's the author I mentioned before, who's got 25 published books and who uses AI a lot to help him to do the work that he doesn't like to do, he came up with some prompts that can help authors, and we used some of those just now in Poe and in ChatGPT. So he talks about the brainstorming prompt, used to generate ideas, especially focusing on a premise and an ending. If it's a novel, you want to give the starting point and the ending point so that the AI that you're working with kind of knows what the arc should be and where you're going and why. It can take various forms, and the author emphasizes the importance of knowing where the story is going. So what we did is we said, give me 10 ideas for a premise for a novel about, and we did the detective in 1920s New York. And then there's a synopsis, helps creating a detailed synopsis for the story, often using a traditional 3-act structure, but it can be whatever structure you like. It builds on the premise and the ending that you've previously given it, providing a roadmap for the story. So you can say, given the following premise and story information, give me a highly detailed synopsis for whatever the genre is, story in the tradition of 3-act structure. Each act should be clearly labeled and should build towards the ending I've described. Outlining prompt, create a detailed outline of the story, breaking it down into parts or chapters. It can be tailored to a specific outlining method, such as the 24-chapter novel outline, which is one of the tools available to authors. So you can say, using the following synopsis, create a detailed summary of the story, fleshing out additional details and breaking it into parts using the outline method of choice, e.g. hero's journey, or whatever the one you want to do. Character prompt, help to write character profiles, including details about the protagonist, antagonist, or mentor. It can include physical descriptions, backstories, and other character-specific information. And it's got to be customized to you and what you want. Because, for instance, I was working with an author this week, and he's writing his book, and someone read his book and said, where's the protagonist? Where's the antagonist? And he said, there isn't one. And they said, you can't do that. And he said, well, I'm going to. So write a character profile about the protagonist of the novel. You insert the synopsis. Here's what we know so far about the character. Insert current summary of character. Include the following elements. Insert the desired elements that you want. Story beats. Just like we did, take the summary and generate a list of 12 highly detailed action beats with a script for additional. And you can have it write video scripts, of course, if you want to do a promotional video for your book. Style prompt, where you outline this writing style. Actually, I'm going to skip this and go to the next one, because this is here's an example. First person cast, point of view, insert character name, show, don't tell, deep point of view, realistic dialogue, strong verbs, lots of conflict, drama, and description. Avoid mushy descriptions and dialogue.
But the thing is, you want it to be in your style. So I don't really use that particular prompt. So the important thing here is use what AI comes up with as inspiration or as a guide, if you agree with it, not to write your book for you. Because you're the author, you're the creator, you're the source. And there's more to it. Someone often asked, does using AI turn anyone into a professional writer? No, it doesn't. And here's some of the reasons why. When writers lack proficiency in the artistic disciplines of writing and storytelling, they cannot exert appropriate creative influence over AI-generated output. The AI will do something, and the aspiring author who knows nothing about writing will go, "Oh, that's great," and it isn't. And it's a dangerous path to go down. Inadequate prompts from an unskilled writer will inevitably lead to flawed output from the AI system. The quality of the AI's performance is inextricably linked to the expertise and guidance provided by the human writer. Does that make sense? And this is a very key one. The AI lacks the life experiences and personality that color and add great flavor to a human's writing. It doesn't have your soul, your spirit, your essence. Make sense?
Oh, I need. Oh,
Oh, good. Thanks for having an open mind.
well, I know very little about using AI. Because I was dead set against it, so I thought this would be a good opportunity to learn more about it. So it's impressive.
Good, thank you. Yeah, it's an amazing tool used right. Now, some of you might be writing blogs or articles or social media, and you don't want to spend X number of hours writing 30 social media posts. You can train it to write in your style. And here's a prompt that works for me. I'll put in, here's a recent article or articles that I've written. Analyze my tone, how I form sentences and paragraphs, the level of detail I use in explanations, the amount of humor I use, how often I ask the reader questions, the readability level I use, the vocabulary I use, the level of emotion I create, and anything else you want to have it analyze. And it'll do that. And it's actually very interesting what it comes up with. You get this exterior view of your writing style, and it's often very illuminating. And then you say, good, now give me a 200-word summary of what you've learned. And that's where I say, what I was just talking about, where you'll learn some very interesting thing. And then you say, based on the writing style analyzed from the provided article, create content entitled, you insert the title of your blog post or your social media post or whatever it was, at 500 words or however many words you want it to be. Ensure that the new content strictly adheres to the author's writing style in terms of tone, structure, and approach as identified in the analysis. And you probably noticed that so much of what you read on the web now in terms of articles and blog posts and social media is written by AI, and very obviously so. It doesn't have to be. And the thing is, the ideal thing is to get it to give you some basic ideas and then tweak it to make it more your own. And this is the online community, AIConnectionClub.com, where you can go and learn AI for free and chat with me and ask me questions and all sorts of stuff. So the last thing is my email here is grockcliffe@gmail.com if you want the slides. If you want a free AI consulting session where I just sit down with you for 45 minutes and take a look at how AI might help you specifically. And it's free, no obligation, no sales. It's fun for me and the people receiving it. So that said, let me look at, see if there's any questions in the chat.
Can you see them on the screen?
I'm going to try.
Okay. I mean, I can pull them up here.
And I have, while you're doing that, Johnny, commentary as well as a question, with the ability to use AI as an image generator, for instance, as I mentioned earlier regarding Sherman's picture, it would raise the question that what would be the benefit of using an illustrator if that illustrator may be using AI to generate those images?
Well, yeah, that's the interesting thing, because about 18 months ago, when I first started giving seminars on AI, I had a lot of illustrators and artists coming to my seminars up in arms about AI and thinking it was going to take their jobs. And, once they realized how they could utilize it and how it could actually speed up their production, they just started using it. So you're right, more and more professional illustrators are using AI to help them with their illustrations and give them ideas and inspiration and to do stuff and to create stuff for them, based on what the client wants. Your question was kind of, what's the benefit of doing it yourself versus...
Yeah, so cut out the middleman. But then when you explain it that way, I can see that it may be more of what you just described as AI being an assistant to the writer. It would be an assistant to the illustrator, not necessarily producing the final image, but getting them closer to what they need to be at the prompt.
Yeah, it enables them to do things a lot faster than previously. Okay, so I see a bunch of stuff in the chat, so let me see. Oh, cool.
A lot of these are more comments than questions.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Oh, yeah, good. Krishna says you can totally tell what is written fully by AI. That was definitely true a few months back. It's getting harder and harder. Yes?
See, it's like we're so much beginners here with the AI content authoring. A lot of informational apps out there, and what would you recommend as we start getting involved with AI and articulating great content? How many apps do you think we should even try to be using? And with the way technology, it seems like we're going to jump from app to app every 6 months or so. So,
well, I'll just tell you my favorites are ChatGPT and Claude, not Copilot personally.
Yeah.
Claude. Claude. Yeah. Claude tends to be just a little bit more aesthetic than ChatGPT. ChatGPT is fabulous for research, and they've recently added this phenomenal research additional tools. Okay.
Peggy was saying that always use AI to check your research. As if AI doesn't know the answer, it will make up the information. So always check the data in your research.
Yeah, I'm coming to that. Dorothy Ellen says, it's scary to realize that AI has increased exponentially. Are we able to have a choice to not use AI? Absolutely. No one's forcing you to use AI. That's true. And Trisha says it's just a tool like any other tool. Can school have a training on options on how to avoid AI? Well, it's simple. Don't go to an AI tool. Oh, okay. Harry says, is there anything to help me overcome my concern that AI will use what I type, my prompts and information to help other users improve their AI model? Yes, absolutely. In ChatGPT, if you click on your name, a drop-down menu will appear. And one of the choices there is don't use my data to train AI. So yeah, absolutely turn that on.
Trisha said she's light years ahead of where she was when she was at one of your first talks. It's all your inspiration.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
I make a question. With children's picture books, for instance, or doing illustrations and acknowledging that the illustration there could be was built and artificial intelligence, is that something that you will just use anyway, acknowledgement saying that generally at first, or would you use the specific tool that you use Jimmy?
Well, it's a landscape is kind of a moving target. The Copyright Office just released information that they've been working on since last August in terms of what you can and cannot copyright and how to give credits. And you can't copyright something that is 100% AI. You can copyright something that where you had an input into it. You worked with it back and forth. You did the prompting. You did changes to it. It's kind of hard. I think it's going to be a hard job for them to figure out, what percentage is you and what percentage is AI.
How would you walk up?
I have no idea how they're going to do that. They're currently
Because there's a spot where if you used it or any type of reference, there's a place where you must fill out $5
Yeah.
$5.
Yeah, and different publishers have different. 6 months to a year ago, some publishers were saying, "No, we don't accept anything that uses AI." Now it's much more open, but you've got to give it credit. In fact, what I did most recently was I asked AI if I'm going to use AI for X, what are the credits that I should give, and it just gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the exact credits.
Now it becomes somewhat circular because of the question I asked earlier. If an illustrator is using AI to assist them, does that illustrator then need to credit AI for the assistance they got? Because if they are the illustrator, they have a right to that as a copyrighted words, even though they may go ahead
Not if it's a work for hire.
No, I was just getting that. That they as a work for hire, and they granted me all rights as I pay for that, John. But then with that work they generated, do they have to acknowledge that, hey, this is now a fully independent human work that it can produce?
I don't know. Like I say, it's a moving landscape.
And that goes again to what is copyrightable. If I want to then go and copyright that book based with those illustrations, that was partially.
Well, so long as you credit the fact that it was partially AI, and if you know what the tools used were, if they require that, like Amazon does.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've kind of couple of coloring just to get my feet wet and frank because that's not my background. It's in another medium altogether. And I have looked on ChatGPT and seen these images and then said, well, I'm going to take a piece of that, and then I'm going to draw my own sort of with some dynamic like what was originally presented to me. Sometimes you get inspiration, come down and create your own.
Exactly.
So you can't patent an idea. There's really no original thought. So that's an interesting question because I'm doing my own book cover and it's all my own art, but that's something.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Artists have been using the work of other artists for centuries as inspiration.
As you said,
There's no original thought.
Yeah. And no one is suing, Picasso for the fact that he copied Ingres and various other artists, and Manet copied Titian. I mean, almost exactly. And there's no one has said, hey, you can't do that.
It's not.
Exactly. Okay, let's see. Harry says, in the image prompt example, would it change anything if you include in the prompt, do not add anything else to the image? No, not usually. Not with the ones other than ideogram. Trisha Kirby said, Black Friday, they had a $46 a year for basic ideogram. Is there a way to make it continue using the same character images? Oh, yeah. In fact, I did a whole demonstration to a client yesterday. There's a tool called openart.ai that is incredible for just that, because the question is there a way to make it continue using the same character images once it creates one you like for, say, a children's book? The tool that I found absolutely the best for that is called openart.ai. It's just from openart, openart.ai. It's absolutely phenomenal. Okay.
that's for image generated.
Yes. And say you've got a particular character and you want that character to be doing different things and different things.
So you can then go ahead and animate it there.
Well, if you,
I mean, to the extent,
two things. You can, one, have that character do whatever you want it to do in whatever environment you want it. It'll still be the same character, even if it's a picture of you or whatever it might be.
But you can also then put it into a tool like Runway and animate it and have it come to life.
And then you can go ahead and upload an image you have, or is it would have to be generated by what particular way?
Oh, no, you can put in an image you have. Absolutely. That's the wonderful thing about OpenAI. I'm just scanning through the... Keith says, will AI replace authors? Well, like I covered pretty thoroughly, not if you're smart. And I don't think it will anyway. Mary Ellen says, I am a Cuban sandwich. I'm not sure what that means. How do you keep AI from using your nonfiction books for others to use your book content? Well, like I say, you just tell it, don't use any of what I'm putting in for your training. How about a new class on using the Ultra GPTs? Yes, actually, I do have. In fact, at the AI Connection Club, there's a video that I did on exactly that, Trisha. So you can check that out. Jean says, must you indicate you've used AI? Yes. Okay, that's all the questions in the chat. Any more questions in... Actually, where are we time-wise? Oh, 11:59. We've got 1 minute.
Thank you for the presentation. It helps someone like me knows what I want to talk about, create structure, and create a introduction, a middle part, and speakers out on the returns. But it also great ending as well. I use it for recommendation letters to character letters. I don't want to talk about, but it just helps fill in a few words that help me later on a lot of it. So it goes along. Appreciate it.
Great. You're very, very welcome. Thank you guys very much for attending and for your feedback.
A lot of good information. Thanks, sir.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Tony, for sharing all your knowledge with us. Tony also offers many other AI workshops. So look for them on our website at score.org. As well as we have many other presenters who offer a variety of topics. So you're all welcome to attend in person or online, virtually. And if anyone is starting a business or is in business and needs to scale their business or marketing, we have over 50 mentors in our chapter, as well as subject matter experts. And across the country, we have over 10,000 who are part of SCORE. So
Yeah.
please check our website.
Fabulous service.
Wow.
Yes, I will send it to you. Did you sign in here with your email? Sign in if you have signed in.
Thank you all for the wonderful comments in the chat. I really appreciate it.